right, so we're going to kick things off for the April Happy Earth Day edition of the Open Match community meeting. I'm sure everyone is anxiously awaiting tomorrow's Animal Crossing update for Nature Week. Yeah, okay, fine, just me and John. All right, so Saurabh, I guess you're first up.
Perfect. I wanted to quickly give some of the key updates from Google's end. I think primarily, I've been driving a lot of things around Open Match for the past bunch of releases. Scott has recently kind of taken over a lot of the community engagement and a lot of release driving, etc. So I think we are going to kind of formalize him trying to be like leading the releases and the agenda and the charters. So I'll still be engaged, but I'll be on the I'll just be a community contributor and individual contributor. So I'm shifting focus to some other things in parallel as well. So in general, I think Scott Riddick will be going forward trying to drive like the agenda from the Google side, the tasks, triaging, etc., etc. So that's kind of like the most important update from my end. And starting today, I think Scott will take over and drive the rest of like the release agenda and stuff. So yeah. Scott, you want to jump in?
Cool. Thanks, Saurabh. So let's see here. Present. So wanted to give last community meeting we hadn't quite released 0.10. So quick update there is we have released it. I hope everybody has had a chance to try it out, update to it, see that it's great. The kind of core highlights are all on the webpage. I can reiterate them here, I guess. So we rewrote how the query service works, and it is much faster, especially for lots of profiles being queried. There's a kind of convenience method of if you don't want the full tickets, you just want the IDs, you can just ask for the IDs with the query ticket IDs. We added a built-in created time on the ticket, which was often requested, and you can filter before and after on that with your polls. And the last big thing was that the setup for the charts now has high availability Redis. So that is great for availability and stuff. There were kind of some breaking changes here, mostly just renaming. The ticket expiration is going to be or was removed, but we will be adding in 0.11 expiration for assigned tickets. Currently, you have to do all the cleanup, but we expect that in 0.11, you probably still want to be deleting tickets if you know that you're done with them, but we will have a backup mechanism, which is the assigned tickets will get deleted. The really nice thing about this release is we think the gRPC API is done, and it's locked in for what we want to do for 1.0, which is tentatively the next release. Where who knows? But like I don't think anything holding us back from 1.0 as the next release at this point. The only thing that would change is wait, there's something really important, but we still want to do another point release, so we might do 0.11, but probably 1.0 as the next release here. In the go to the issues, there is stability guarantees for 1.0, which is kind of lengthy of like, these are the things that we expect to be solid, which is gRPC API. And then there's some things that are a little less solid, such as the configuration. And that might still have some changes going forward. But that should be relatively simple for you to do updates with instead of having to rewrite a bunch of logic for your game matchmaker. So moving on from what we did for 0.10, this is the current milestone issue list for 1.0, or yeah, 1.0. The main highlights are we're doing a lot of work on the integration testing, so that we'll be a little more confident that it's bug free when we're going to 1.0, and it'll be easier to add features and test them well. We're doing a little bit with scale, and then there's a couple like ticket cleanup things here that are all kind of like the same issue but a little bit different, so we kept them. That will be coming in 1.0 as well. I'm waiting to get the testing done so I can easily test it. There is also a milestone of current release stretch, which are things that are vaguely in the next couple release time zone. That would be nice to get to in the next release, but we don't know. If you have opinions about, hey, we really need this, this is really high priority, this doesn't match our prioritization, please give feedback. This is our being Google mostly run through of all the issues. So it's our estimation of what we need to be focusing on. Always appreciate feedback there. That's mostly what I have. I'll go ahead, Sarab.
A quick question. So I know we did some of the scale testing, and you're kind of running the long haul scale tests, etc. Do you plan to like publish numbers for those for the .10 or for 1.0 or for ongoing? Is there any kind of plan around that?
Yes. So there were numbers published in the 0.10 release, I believe. Benchmark number, yeah. So there are some numbers there. Going forward, what I have remaining on the scale test is essentially trying to make it more of a script. It's not going to be fully automated at this point, but like you can go and you can sit down and you can follow it, and you can get hopefully roughly consistent results given the same version, so that we can release by release be able to give better guidance on what's improving and what's not, or what are the numbers we're seeing. So that will be hopefully what that is focused on.
Cool.
So that was quick, but it's all the updates I had from the Google side. Now we're kind of out of agenda items, so if anybody wants to bring up something or have a question, please ask it now.
Actually, it might be useful to kind of, I see Isher, Caleb, and like might be useful to just go around and see if anybody has any OpenMatch related updates from different community partners.
A couple weeks ago, we brought up backfill from some stuff we were doing on the Unity side with integrating OpenMatch, and I think we've landed on a pretty feasible design that we're currently vetting. We've implemented it. We're trying to put a spec together proposal issue on the GitHub for a change that we think would really help out OpenMatch. So unfortunately, I don't think Andy's in the chat today who is implementing it, but we'll try to get that up shortly. I wouldn't call it a 1.0 like major thing. Maybe it's a minor change we can ship afterwards. Yeah, getting backfill sorted was an interesting challenge that I think everyone's going to have trouble with. So we'll get what we've done up there and see if anyone thinks it's worth bringing in.
And I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any updates they want to give?
Yeah, it's raining right now, and I just want it to be sunny again.
Yeah, we have nice weather here in San Francisco.
I mean, it's We always have nice weather in California. Come on.
No, we don't have weather in San Francisco.
Well, that's where you live. I would like rain because I don't want to do anything in the yard.
Oh, there we go.
By the way, I do see we have a new name in the attendees. I don't want to put Andrew on the spot, but Andrew,
You're gonna put Andrew on the spot.
but I am gonna do that anyways.
Perhaps Andrew is really enjoying the talk about the weather.
Oh no, I'm on the spot now. Hi, no, I'm just lurking at the moment. We found one of your talks online. I think it was Mark actually, about Agonis and OpenMatch, and we were very interested in what you guys were doing. So now I'm investigating and reading up and trying to see what's going on. I work at a Swedish game studio, and I'm working on speccing out our infrastructure for our next game. So
Cool.
that was my reason for being here.
Sweet
Well,
welcome.
this is the perfect time to ask, the folks, put them on the spot, ask them any questions you have about anything. And there's an Agones community meeting tomorrow if you are interested in Agones as well.
Okay.
But it
I might
meets,
be there as
well, it's probably better for you, but it meets earlier for us because Mark is mean. But
I am. It's true.
Yeah.
Horrible person.
it's,
Just-
but yeah, very excited. Glad can I ask, like, you said you found a talk. What was how did you stumble upon it?
I was looking for our requirements are that we sort of have a kind of fledgling backend / infrastructure team now. We used to use managed solutions almost exclusively, but now we're looking at sort of going halfway because we have a small team, but we don't want to roll everything ourselves and we don't want to reinvent wheels and things. So we were looking for something that is kind of within our control as much as we want it to be, and then disown all the heavy lifting stuff as much as we can as well. So the two projects seem almost perfect for that.
Well, that's awesome. That's exactly why we built them.
Yeah, so we didn't really start doing anything yet. I was a little bit nervous when I saw the version number of OpenMatch, but it sounds like you guys are really, like, even over the last month or so, loads of stuff happened and it looks really promising. So although the question about backfill, I haven't actually looked at backfill in OpenMatch at all yet. Is that something that you guys have systems for, or is it something that needs to be rolled?
There's currently there's ways to do it, and it's kind of there's several ways to do it right now, and it hasn't been clear up to this point in terms of guidance what the best way to do it is. And so like here on the Unity side, like we're actually putting customers on OpenMatch here in the next couple of weeks for production games. So the 1.0 is very timely for us as well. And as a part of that, we think there's a couple things that could be a little bit easier about backfill especially from a guidance perspective, but maybe some targeted changes. But totally possible to do backfill today without without any like major changes. It just takes a little bit of discovery.
Okay, is that something that can be solved by you guys being generous with documentation in the meantime before something's committed to the actual code base?
Right. Yeah, the proposal we're trying to put in that we've written up and we're sort of testing an implementation for, it does dive a little bit into a way that you could do backfill. I think there's like two ways that you could do backfill today. One is through profiles and the other one is through backfill tickets. Both have minor implications that we're going to throw some guidance into for the proposal. Maybe in the meantime, it sounds like it might be worth formalizing like the current backfill strategies outside of that proposal if folks want some type of like interim solution. But I don't know, Scott, what are your thoughts on I don't imagine it'll take a lot to change, but in terms of the release milestones, we're talking about like 6 weeks after 1.0 for getting like any type of 1.1 change that would include backfill.
Right. I mean, if we have a major change, we can really do releases whenever. But I think the main guidance right now is have your backfill be a ticket, and have some information on what it needs or what the server is and that kind of stuff, and try to get it into the same pools or pool that the tickets is trying or the players is trying to find are, and do it that way, and then have your director go, oh, this is like one of the tickets is a backfill ticket. Actually, take the IP off of that and give it to all the tickets that are searching there. So like that's the main guidance right now. There's not I don't think I have a better like written up documentation how to do it because we haven't implemented it personally here. I'm hoping to lean on Unity a bunch for having actually proven it out. And I think the once they have the idea of what needs to be changed, we'll be relatively prompt on actually getting that in, so you can use it.
Awesome.
And you can use master if there's ever a feature that you desperately need now. We try to keep it green, but try as you might. The for the releases we do some extra verification steps, some manual verification on making sure everything is working, but they don't find that much usually, so master should be good most of the time. If you want to work on development, I'm not sure I'd run anything on that in production, but yeah. So I think as soon as we're landing it, if people are desperate for developing against it, we're not in any super need for release.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, our timelines are not so tight right now, mostly in the investigation phase. So it's definitely something that we can, especially if you guys are doing something recent, Caleb, then we can for sure wait and see for a little while. But yeah, it does sound very promising. Sounds like a good combo of projects for us, for sure.
We'll up a little bit of prioritization on that share out then. We're doing a team review internally on our take on the changes this week, I think today or tomorrow. And then there'll be a spin out doc that will turn into a GitHub proposal for more or less the changes we want to make directly to OpenMatch. Our situation is sort of strange because like all of our services are ASP.NET and OpenMatches Go. So we have sort of like, we were a little ahead and now we're behind. So we're trying to catch up by getting back into the total OpenMatch ecosystem. So that'll be a good foray for us to go in and touch on that and share. Cool. I'll actually ping Andy about that right now.
Excellent.
Out of curiosity, Andrew, have you walked any of the getting started documentation for Agones or OpenMatch?
For Agones, yes. For OpenMatch, no.
Okay.
We're in a very research sort of oriented phase right now. Yeah, but Agones, yes. We mostly use AWS infrastructure. Sorry, but we had it like a little hack last week of newing up everything with EKS and Agones and some other sort of auto scaling stuff as well, and it went pretty smoothly. It was a pretty nice experience. But OpenMatch, no, not yet. That's my next job, probably my next task.
Awesome. Maybe at the next meeting, you can let us know how that goes from onboarding.
Yeah. Quite excited about the 1.0 release. It's gonna be an easier sell to everyone else if there's a number in front of the dot for sure, even if it's just a number.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
Yeah, definitely would love to hear any comments about the documentation in general, because it's think it's okay, but there's always the rule of documentation. There's always things that can be improved, and so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely. We'll definitely be working on it over the next few weeks. So.
Cool.
Sweet. Ish, did you have anything?
Nothing major. I've kind of been pulled off onto other things, but so we're still on .8. I never actually went and did the changes to go to .9, but we have .8 up in like a test environment running a listen server against production, which grabs all the players and makes all the matches, but then just throws them on the floor at the end. And that's seems pretty stable, and we're pretty happy with it at the moment. So kind of next steps for us is to update to .10, and then we're talking about possibly getting into real production in the somewhat near future, but just need to make sure everything's all happy and working and bug free before we actually do that into a live game. So
Out of curiosity, do you have a sense of time to match for your end-to-end for your scenarios?
you mean like how long a player is in the queue in total?
Yeah.
It depends on the skill. So if you're like in the middle of the bell curve where there's lots of players, we'll match you within 5 seconds or like 15 at worst.
Okay.
If you are on the very ends of the bell curve and there's only 2 people in your region actually playing, then it can take a bit longer.
Okay.
But generally players will never wait more than a minute and a half or so.
Okay.
But we try to keep that extremely low, considering it's only a 5-minute game. So you don't want to be matchmaking for 5 minutes and then play for 5 minutes. So, but yeah, generally speaking, I would say 10 to 30 seconds is probably average, something like that.
And for your test traffic, open matches, I guess I'm trying to figure out if it's a net improvement or if the speed has. If you guys were already efficient, then it's not going to improve anything.
It improves things. So we're not looking to get better time to match. That's
right.
I mean, we want to not make it worse, of course, but that's not one of the major goals. The main goals for us is to move off a monolith matchmaker that we've had for a long time into something newer and into something that is more manageable and has just more featured and we can do a lot more with it than what the old system is, because the old one is 10 plus years old or something like that at this point. So it's just kind of
Sweet. Yeah, keep us up to date. Would love to hear when you switch any production stuff over and hear how that scales for you guys.
Yep. We'll let you know.
Awesome. Thanks for the update.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to discuss?
Starly, you took a look through a lot of the proposals on GitHub. Did you have any comments on the 1.0 or .10 ones, or did everything look mostly clean to you?
Everything looked mostly clean, but a few of the stories were surrounded around the life cycle state of tickets, like whether it's pending assignment tickets and whatnot. And I don't know if we want to formalize these states. Is that do we plan to formalize or not? No. That was my only main concern when going through the issues.
Yeah, so we plan on currently not changing any behavior, but defining, probably in the documentation, what the states are and giving them names.
Okay.
So the behavior doesn't change, and there's no ticket.state field or anything like that. But when we're talking about documentation and the life cycle of a ticket, we can put some names on the states there. The only thing that actually is probably going to change in the code is I think I want to change the name of the timeout for the pending tickets. I don't remember what it's called now, but it has a weird name. So I'm probably going to want to change that to match this idea of the ticket states, but that's about it from a code point of view.
Okay.
Sweet, thank you, Starly. I'll circle back around. I would like to read that one as well. If it's just a rendering documentation usability thing, that sounds like a great feature. If it's like full-on state machine, I just want to give it a
No,
give it a
yeah,
read.
no, it's I was exploring like what we want the states to be, and this was like a release or recently a half ago. But then, or no, it was 4.10, and then we found that besides being able to create a ticket with an assignment, and we decided, okay, that doesn't make much sense. But once you did that, the things fit into categories pretty nicely. So we don't need to make changes above that.
Cool.
All right. So, what games is everyone playing? Aside from Animal Crossing, I know.
Oh God, yeah, we're playing a lot of that in this house.
Are you really? Or are you being sarcastic?
No, there's a lot of Animal Crossing happening right now.
Well, Caleb, we need to be friends because I give great gifts. That's all I'll say.
Okay, we'll get the hook up there and we'll trade some island swag. Strangely enough, a lot of Astroneer over here.
There's the group of Kubernetes folks that play a lot of Destiny. Like they've all now started playing Astroneer. They seem to enjoy it quite a bit. I don't need another game right now.
Yeah, I need a new game. I guess
I haven't even played the Final Fantasy remake yet because Animal Crossing has consumed everything.
Overwatch and a little bit of Industries of Titan. I have a friend working on that one, and Deep Rock Galactic, trying that out.
Deep Rock Galactic.
I don't know that one.
It's like your dwarfs that dive down from a space station onto an alien planet and mine things. It's a game, I guess. It's like a co-op 4-player PvE.
Yeah, I've seen
Wait.
it played on stream before. And it's like there are different types of miners. Like I can't remember the names of them, but it's a pretty fun game, and it causes a lot of like there are actually enemies that you have to fight as well, which is kind of cool. So wasn't expecting that when I saw it on stream, but just the chaos it caused between people because like people tend to go off their own ways and do certain things. It's kind of funny.
I feel like I've seen the trailer for this.
So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you weren't aware, I'll put a link in the chat, but there is a DevOps conference happening soon that's taking place in Animal Crossing. So Caleb's like, okay, I'm out.
When Zoom meetings become the problem,
Right?
everyone will flock to. Second Life is going to make a comeback for conference meetings, I swear.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's next week if anyone would like to. I mean, I'm totally going to because, I mean, you got to at least see it. Is Astroneer is it like a Animal Crossing in space essentially?
It's like
No.
yeah, it's more like
Exploration and
it's like
mining
Minecraft,
and
Minecraft with a tech tree where you actually have like a cooperative goal that you need to build towards.
What do you think we
Yeah.
do in Animal Crossing? We fish and we mine things.
The great
so
collectathon.
yeah. Which, to be fair, that's pretty much what Destiny is these days too. So
Yeah.
No, I just was looking like in the Discord that we have for the. So if anyone wants to join the Kubernetes Gamers Discord, let me know. But in the Discord, like there's conversation around, I guess it being Minecrafty. So that's what made me.
It's pretty
Yeah, help me
crafty.
out. Anything with crafting, not my game.
Yeah, Mark likes to shoot
Weird people.
things and.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, if you need a game, I heard Doom's doing pretty well these days.
No, it is apparently doing very well. I'm slow. Mainly what I'm doing right now is actually working my way through my Steam queue.
You say that every time.
But like, I'll grab a game and then I'll play it for 2 hours, and I'll be like, "Yeah, this is no good," and I'll throw it away. Like I was playing the Adventures of Van Helsing for like an hour the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a top-down ARPG. Like, cool." It's fine. It was made like 5 years ago. Like, cool. Got that off the queue. Done.
Oh, you're playing To-Do List. That's what you're playing.
Yeah.
You're playing, my favorite game. Check the boxes. Oh, it feels so good.
God, yeah. That's
Well, I played Wolfenstein Youngblood for like a while. Like, I played pretty much all of it until I got to the end bots, and like then just table flipped and stopped playing the game. But it's not as good as the other Wolfensteins were.
I got Death Stranding, and what else did I download the other day on PlayStation? I don't know. I hadn't been on the PlayStation in like forever, and I opened it up and was like, yes, I'll buy this and this and this, and it made me think of you because they're just gonna sit there in the queue.
So
and
you have Death Stranding and Animal Crossing were the two games I've heard. So you like do nothing simulators.
I mean, you know, what did someone say that I saw someone say something like, Death Stranding ended up being like the perfect game for our time because, it's like somebody who's just has to bring stuff to people, So.
Oh, I've never had that correlation put together.
Yeah, I'm an only child. Those games are like no good for me because I'm just like, go get it yourself. Like, I don't.
You cannot blame everything on being an only child, Mark. We've had this conversation.
Not everything.
I am an only child. I am happy to help others. This is just you.
Exception that proves the rule. That's all I'm saying. You're the exception that proves the rule.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else that they want to cover, we
Road to 1-0.
Yeah, it's exciting. And Scott is now steering the ship, so
cool.
We can all harass him and give him a hard time. Which he's like, God, what did I sign up for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if anybody needs anything, we've got the Slack and everything else. I will get the recordings up so we can share with people. Andrew, if you have any questions that you come across as you dive into Open Match Anagones, please do harass us because we would be happy to help. Yep. Yes. And otherwise, we will see everybody next month. And Caleb, I will ping you in Slack for Animal Crossing codes. We will be hooked up. Yeah. John, maybe we'll share some flowers with you. All right. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.